Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Audi Q3 S Line. Huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This Q3 is finished off in Mythos Black Metallic, and with options, MSRP is just shy of $51,000. Now this is powered by the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo. It's paired to a 7-speed automatic. It now pumps out 255 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through the Quattro all-wheel drive system, propelling this 3,900-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 16.4 gallons. You'll expect to see 22 miles per gallon in the city and 29 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 105.1 inches. Its overall length is 178.4. It has a width of 73.2 and a height of 64.1 inches. So for the latest design for the Q3, this has some nice exterior styling differences compared to the 2025. It also has a updated suspension and a more powerful turbocharged engine, like I mentioned. So we'll start up front here, where there's also some new headlight technology. You'll notice the split design. So the upper section is the DRL and the turn signal, and then the lower housing is the headlights and the high beams. This also has the latest Audi badge up front, which is also a sensor for the distance pacing. This model has a forward camera. There's also parking sensors too. Still retains the hexagonal design for the upper grille. And then as you can tell, there's plenty of cutouts in both that grille, the lower section, and the inlets underneath both housings on each side. And then there's a few crisp lines coming down the hood to give it a great design. And the lower section is all body colored as well, which is nice. Now this model also has an optional set of 20-inch wheels with the two-tone design. You'll notice the nice fender arches. There's also the power folding side mirrors, which have a camera and a turn signal. You'll see the S Line badge just in front of that there. And then there's a black for the window trim. It's on the roof racks, and this does have a very large sunroof up top. Really nice design for the rest of the lines that flow down the lower section there, leading to the back, where this has the body colored spoiler. There's also the third brake light and the wiper blade, LEDs for all of the lighting, which have a great look to them. And then there's the backup camera, parking sensors. When properly equipped, this can tow around 1,500 pounds, so realistically you could put a bike rack or something like that if you needed to haul some smaller items. And if you didn't see earlier in that turn signal clip, the rear logo actually lights up, which is an interesting option. I think that is a really cool design for this. Now you can use the control on the key fob or the electronic release underneath, and that's how you can gain access to your cargo space, where the Q3 is on the smaller side, but it's still going to offer you a good bit of space. Now there's also the spare underneath, where you could place some smaller items underneath if you needed to. You'll notice there's a 12-volt located in that cubby, and then there's a deep cubby on that right side too. There's also some cargo lights. You can remove this cover and fold the back seats down as well if you need more interior space. This also has the hands-free option, so you can kick up underneath the vehicle, or you can use that control up top along with the control to lock it. Now, if you do lock the vehicle, just grab any door handle. You'll notice there's the sensor right here, so you can swipe your finger there to lock the vehicle, and then just grab the door handle to unlock it. Now this model has a unique design for the two-tone interior with all of that stitching. Sonos for the audio, there's lock and unlock and a release handle too, and then some storage down below. Now for the back seats here, which have more of the gray stitching, you can release them by using this strap down below. So this might be a two-handed process. It looks like it will lock into place, and this is the opening that you have to put in larger items. If you just pull on that tab again, that's how you can unlock the seat and then easily push it back up, and then from there you can recline it too. Now these seats also move forwards and backwards. So there's the bar underneath where you can get a little bit more leg space or a little bit more cargo space, and there's also this storage bin located in between the seats, which is a neat touch. Now there's also storage pockets. You'll notice some auxiliaries, there's vents, temperature adjustments down below. And at 5'10" for how small this vehicle is, I have about 1.5 inches or so of headroom with the seat all the way reclined. So I could ride around town and be comfortable. If you're not looking for a large SUV, this is definitely practical. You could fit in a car seat back here, possibly 3 people, and still have a good bit of space. So that is awesome to see for the smaller size. Now there's also the armrest with cup holders, and you can fold down this middle seat. So just push on that release by the headrest, and you can use this as a taller armrest, or if you need to grab some items from the back there. And then there's pretty large cargo windows, so that way you can see around that pillar there. Now as we work our way up front, you'll notice there's lock and unlock with the release. And then in the lower section, memory seating adjustments, rear liftgate release, a large amount of storage, and then the power folding side mirrors are also heated. There's all the window controls, child lockouts, and then this is basically the grab handle with this floating design in the front section. And then this also has power operating front seats with a similar design as the rears there. And then it's pretty easy to get into. It's not a large vehicle, but now this is where we have some updates compared to the previous Q3. Let's start this up. There's some controls behind the steering wheel now that are a little bit different. On this left side, you'll notice this is the turn signal now. You'll notice there's a control for the wiper blade up front, the rear wiper blade. You can also use this stock for the high beams, so you can flash those, turn them on and off, and go to auto as well. And then that connector bar goes all the way to your gear selector. So just push the back of that up, and that is how you can pull up the camera system, which we'll go ahead and go over. This has the 360 view, so you can push on all these shortcuts to see what you would like. There's also parallel parking, so you can monitor that, and you have the rest of those adjustments. And then push it down for drive. Park's located on the end of the stock. You'll notice there's paddle shifters in between that and the steering wheel. Still easy to access both of those, of course. And then for the left side of the steering wheel, you'll notice all the controls for the gauge cluster. So I can use the left and the right control to go through all this information, so just depending on which way you want to go. And then if you get to a screen where you'll notice the bar on the far left, now I can scroll up and down. So not every screen will do that, just depends on what you need to see. And then you can push on the view icon and go through some more information within the background. So you can change the entire gauge cluster depending on what you are going to see and what you need to get into, which is very helpful. And then you can also go to your lane keeping assist, your adaptive cruise, and turn that on with this lower section. Now on the right side, there's the heated steering wheel. There's also tuning, volume, there's a favorites control, so you can push on that. And on the infotainment system, this is where you can get through all this information. So you can set it up to what you use the most. There's also some Bluetooth controls. On the lower left, this is the cruise control stock. So you have a similar design as the gear selector and your turn signal, and you can easily adjust that. There's headlights and some storage in the lower section, and then one air vent. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, you have a good bit to go through. Now on this left side and the lower section, that info is all fixed, so you can quickly get into it. On the home screen here, you can also swipe through some of these widgets here, just depending on what you'd like to see with that split view. You can get into your navigation and map there, also some of the audio, your phone when that is paired. If you click on the vehicle here, you can go through some of this information. So mainly the steering wheel adjustments for your favorites there, and then you can also get into all of these apps. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can also get into vehicle, so go through some of those adjustments as needed. There's also drive select for the different driving modes. You can get into the lights, displays. There's even services to monitor, and then a few more settings there. And then you can swipe down on the screen and go through some more of these. So very easy to use. And then the lower section, you'll notice that this has heated seats. There's temperature adjustments, some AC controls, and then when you click on menu, you can bring this up in full screen. So now you have fan speed, you have the heated steering wheel, you can even get to the rear adjustments too, and control the temperature there, and then just click on X and go back to the screen you were in. Now there's a really neat trim accent underneath that, along with vents. There's a shortcut down below for drive select to get into the different driving modes. Traction control, engine start stop. There's hazards, along with a shortcut to the camera system, and you also have another safety feature to turn on and off. So you can easily access all of this information here, where you have different warnings that you can turn on and off. There's also the lane assist. You have some speed adjustments, braking adjustments, and efficiency here as well. So you can set this vehicle up to your liking. There's also wireless charging with auxiliaries, and you can hide all of that away. There's volume and tuning, and then the e-brake, 2 cup holders, and then plenty of space in the armrest there, along with the locking glove box. And then up top, there's garage door buttons, the touch sensitive dome lights, and controls for both the sunroof and sunshade. Those are both automatic. And then here's a look at visibility. For this smaller vehicle, definitely a lot of glass to see over both sides. As we set up behind the wheel now for the latest Q3, I was able to film and review the 2025 year model, so now we have a much different interior, of course, for this 2026. New screen is integrated into this model now, and we have some updated features that I've already gone over, like this bar that is behind the steering wheel here. I think everything is laid out very nicely, and I think Audi did a really good job with this newest interior. This is a really cool smaller size SUV in my opinion, and with just sitting in it and being in them, of course, before, I think it's really spacious for its smaller size. So if you're not looking for a big vehicle, but you still want to sit up high like you are in an SUV, it is still going to give you that higher seating position, of course, for its smaller size, which I think is great. And along with that, you have the height adjustable seat here too. So if you need a little bit more, you can do that. And at 5'10", I can even go all the way up here, and I still have about an inch or so of headroom. So you could be very tall or very short and still be able to fit nicely in this vehicle. The one thing, the steering wheel is manual. Would be nice to see it power operating with the rest of the newer tech in here, but you do have that adjustment as needed. And this Q3 also has an updated suspension, so it's going to ride very nicely. And you can also go through the different driving modes. So if we put it in dynamic now, I can also use the paddle shifters now just by pushing it down. You can go into the S mode, so it's going to be a little bit more sporty, just shifting by itself. Or you can go into the manual mode now and use the paddles. And with a slight acceleration, we do get more power and torque compared to the 2025. So I think that is great to see from Audi, boosting the power for this turbo engine. I think it's definitely more adequate now for this model. But it rides very nice, as you would expect from an Audi. Very well insulated, super quiet. This would make for a fantastic daily driver. You still have a good bit of space to make this practical. It's also going to be better for city driving, parking lots. You have some of those aids to help you out as well. And it's just a very roomy interior for this smaller vehicle. Seats are also very comfortable too. I could see this being great to drive every single day, and I like the updates for this curved screen. All of it is super easy to use, so there's very quick feedback in the controls, and everything else is laid out well. So while there's the physical buttons down below for some of the information, it's pretty easy to go through, and you learn, of course, where everything is. And then even at taking a turn like that, it handles well. For being not an RS model or anything like that for this S line, it's going to handle well for this type of vehicle. So if you're on some long trips, you happen to be on some back roads like this, it can handle these turns well. You have a very confident driving vehicle, and with that all-wheel drive system, you can take it anywhere. And still in dynamic mode, second gear, here we go. And just a minor acceleration. The shifts are super quick with this new transmission. So if you want to have a little bit of sporty driving fun, you have the paddle shifters to use as needed. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the 2026 Q3. Definitely really nice updates. Cool design for the steering wheel too, along with the brushed accents on both sides. And as far as the new controls go, just behind those paddle shifters, it's pretty easy to get used to this turn signal stock here. It is much different, of course, than any other vehicle I've really filmed, but I've gotten used to it just with today's drive here. So I think it's neat to see some different technology, but also at the same time very functional as well. And a super comfortable vehicle to drive. You have a lot of different options for this latest Q3, so you can spec it with some other options and features just depending on your budget, but overall, I think it's really nice. And if you're not really looking for a large SUV again, this is going to be fantastic. You definitely sit very high up for this vehicle, so of course compared to a sedan there, and all the materials are really nice, especially for this model and for its price point too. It's right around the average price of a brand new vehicle in today's market at $50,000, so you can get quite a lot for that money. And as far as making a U-turn here, very tight turning radius. So again, it's going to be super maneuverable, very easy to park and drive. It's not an intimidating vehicle to drive either. And you can quietly get back up to speed and you're ready to go. Well, that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 Audi Q3. Once again, huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I'll see you all in the next video.